And to start off, how many of you guys voted in the past election? All right, so a majority of you. Well, on the ballot there is Proposition 2, and for those of you that don't know about Proposition 2, Proposition 2 states that the purpose of this act is to prohibit the cruel confinement of farm animals in a manner that does not allow them to turn around freely, lie down, stand up, and fully extend their limbs. And this proposition mainly focused on poultry and swine. And my main claim is that Proposition 2 is going to negatively affect California's economy. And my supporting claims are, one, that a large part of the U.S. income comes from California agriculture. 2, the cost of remodeling the farms will lead to outsourcing. And 3, the new conditions are prone to unsanitary food. So first, a large part of U.S. income comes from California agriculture. Right now, California produces about half of the eggs produced in the United States. And those who shift to less confined housing could experience a 20% increase in production costs, mostly attributed to higher feed, housing, and labor expenses, which this is what Don Bell, a poultry specialist at UCR, has said. And this is going to cause many farmers to just pick up their farm and move to a different state where they don't have these restrictions, and therefore the other states are going to be getting the income from agriculture as opposed to California. My second claim is that the cost of remodeling the farms will lead to outsourcing. Don Bell also states pennies, nickels, dimes, and dollars add up as today's prices for everything increase, not just eggs and not just food. So right now in the recession that we're in, it's a matter of, are we willing to pay more for, say, a carton of eggs when right now we're paying about $2? Are we willing to have it jump up while the increases are? Bell said that the penny and egg estimate is an oversimplification and ignores the estimated $50 million cost to producers. So while the farms will need to raise the prices, not only because of the modifications that they're doing, but farmers are going to have to hire more workers, because the way that the open range works for hens is they're just going to be running around in a building, and it just requires that they add a small opening so that they can get outside, and if they even find their way outside. But so they just lay their eggs wherever they are, and so they're going to have workers to go around and pick up the eggs through the hens. My third claim, the new conditions are prone to unsanitary food. Free-range chickens lay their eggs where they defecate, so you're having basically you're having the eggs where they poop, and that's not very sanitary. Californians, for safe food, say they contend Prop 2 will undermine animal welfare and food safety by increasing the risk of salmonella, forcing dependence on eggs grown in Mexico, and driving up food costs. And this isn't necessarily a positive because Mexico doesn't have the same sanitary laws that we do. So bringing it all together, it comes down to people want to make the animals comfortable, and because some of the hens sitting in the cages have broken legs, while when they're running around, they're just being trampled by other hens, and it isn't necessarily better for them because, as far as pigs go, they make laws, or the gestation crates, which is where they are when they are giving birth, and once they have their baby piglets, they're set down for certain reasons, because when the sow, the mother pig, can turn around, she has a chance of stumbling the piglets, and therefore the swine production is also going to suffer that cost of piglets dying, which means they're going to have to work that into the cost. And so overall, we're going to have to pay more for all of our production that this proposition is affecting. Thank you.
The audience survey at the opening was fine. The topics pretty clearly identified. You've got a very clear statement of your goal and an excellent layout of what the supporting structure is going to be. The signposting is fine. It's satisfactory. The supporting evidence, I think, needs to be developed a little bit more. You're very dependent on Bell as a source citation. I think quoted 3 or 4 places, and you need some additional independent sources for information on this. Some factual data is being presented, and I don't know exactly where that data comes from. There were a couple of statistics. The criticism of the cost issue at one point, there's an explanation, well, you know, it's an oversimplification that it's a penny and egg sort of issue. Well, how is it an oversimplification? How does that ramification work? There's not any explanation of it, and so I think that it doesn't get very thoroughly developed. Let me see, the claims about the workers on the open range, that I thought was explained pretty well, although the cost issue on that needs to be documented a little bit more. When you get to the sanitation issue needs to be more clearly linked to the economic issue, since that's what your claim is. And the way you do that is by arguing that we'd have to use these alternative eggs from Mexico, which are also not sanitary. So if they're all unsanitary, why don't we just eat American unsanitary eggs instead of Mexican unsanitary eggs? I think that there's a kind of a contradictory inference in that statement. So you need to work on that a little bit more. The notion that California is the unique place that is going to suffer the economic consequences, I think that's a good argument to start with, and you should show in particular how it's going to affect the state, not just national issues. Presentation, you project your voice pretty well, but you do look a little uncomfortable sometimes when you're speaking. You've got nervous feet, uncertain what to do with your hands, trying to look at the audience a little bit more. All right, thank you.